excellence in sports entertainment.
Pro wrestling talk from the four corners of parts unknown. This is That Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome to That Wrestling Podcast. The good bad guys of wrestling podcasts are back, and we're talking all things of the week that was in professional wrestling. All four of us are here. First off, just once again, I wanted to thank Victor Perry, our guest from last week, creator of the Wrestling Club, for joining us. What a nice guy, right, fellas?
Exactly. Glad we had him a week early.
Oh yeah, because now I think he's going viral. You know, to the likes of Grayson Waller.
Right.
And, I'll take all the credit for that, and I gotta give you guys credit. That was a really good show, which again makes me wonder maybe I shouldn't be here because you guys seem to do a hell of a lot better when I'm not here. So
no, you're what's that phrase they say, the spoon that stirs the
straw
pot.
I'm the spoon.
That's
Okay.
what we get out the straw. Yeah,
the straw that stirs the drink.
Yeah, I wanted to let the listeners and the viewers know too. We did the recording, and we planned for about 45 minutes so we could finish up so we could watch AEW. And so we finished just after 8:00. He ended up sticking around talking with us for another 30 minutes or so that we just didn't record.
Wrestling fans do.
Right. But it was funny because we talked, or I was messaging him on Twitter beforehand, hey, we'll interview. And then if we have time, we can talk Crown Jewel predictions. You can hop on with us. But when I was watching the time, I was like, all right, I'll be sensitive to him. I'm going to let him go. And so we just started talking Crown Jewel. Just rapping about everything, the Joe and Victor bromance with all things teachers. Yeah. Any correspondence with him since the interview yet, Joe? About
no, not yet.
Club?
But I'm talking with I've already talked with my boss. It's in motion right now. It's just going kind of slow, but hoping for a springtime debut.
That's so
well,
cool.
Joe. If you get this up and rolling, I will donate the first $100 towards the wrestling club to help with whatever Michigan's wrestling club would be.
Oh, thank you.
Wow.
I'll donate the first 100. What are you going to donate, Brian and Kevin?
Probably nothing.
You guys have known Joe a lot longer than I have.
That's true.
A straw to stir the drink, maybe.
and you two are nicer to me.
Yeah, I'll stop by. I'll give a.
You'll stop by.
I'll have a guest lecture in your class.
I will say I will definitely do something to the number 2 rated teacher who's ever been on That Wrestling Podcast.
Wow, really, Kevin?
Yeah, that's
it.
You
used to be the nice guy and Captain Positive. What happened?
Joe, even you'd admit that. Come on, Victor's the man. You're the man too, but he's the man.
The thing with Victor, he did stay, an extra 30 plus minutes. He didn't get that phone call. Hey, I'm your way out. If you're going on a bad date or something.
Yeah. Oh, grandma's sick. I gotta go. No, he did say to us. I don't remember if it was on air or off air. Probably off air, but he said, "I've done 50 interviews, and you guys are in the top 2."
Top 2.
Yeah. So I think we did great. Awesome. And
what's interesting, awesome. I don't know if you saw once we posted it. Someone called out Busted Open for not having him on yet.
No, I did not see that.
Busted Open claims to be the number 1 show in the world, and they can't get him on. And I'm like,
wow.
All righty then.
Credit our booking agents for
if he gets on Busted Open, guests. Are we still going to be in the top 2?
I don't know. None of you yelled at him, right?
No, yeah, we were good.
They didn't LaGreca him. So
we don't have Gabby either, so I don't know if that's a plus for us or a negative for us, but yeah, no, that was a great interview. Great time, and it's exciting that I'm sure he'll be back on with us sometime, and maybe things with Joe's Wrestling Club are gonna,
Have you guys bought the Wrestling Club shirts yet? I did. Wow, you did?
Wow. I did. Yeah,
wow.
I felt so happy with how it went, and he's just such a nice guy. He was really cool. I'm like, I got to do this, and I think he said the other day they're sold out now. So I got in just under the wire.
You know what's crazy about that? You didn't even buy a That Wrestling Podcast shirt. You waited for someone to get it for you for Christmas last year.
I know. Yeah, you know me, guys. I'm selective, and
support the brand.
I like I like getting unique ones, right? Like, Le Dinner Debonair and
British Bulldog cartoon shirt that you wear every third week.
Lethal Leap Year. It has to grab me, and so I'm like,
it has to be something like off the wall. And
so
every time I go out, I see that wrestling podcast T-shirt. I mean, they're just all over the place.
That's
ridiculous. It's like the Tasmanian Devil and Bugs Bunny dressed up in '90s street gear. I just see it everywhere.
Wow,
I'm so bummed that I canceled my Pro Wrestling Crate probably about 6 months ago. The shirt from last month was a Sting shirt along with RoboCop. So because of that, I re-upped my because if they're going to start doing shirts like that, I mean, once we're done, we can Google it. I mean, it's unbelievable. When I heard what it was, I had to go find it. But yeah, it's RoboCop and Sting.
And that's the Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yeah.
That's it's only $30 a month, right? And you get 2 shirts, autograph, a couple freebies.
Yeah, you get shirts and autographs and some small stuff and a micro brawler. I mean, they really do it up, and for like $36, I think, to get all that stuff. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty good deal.
Now, Jay and Kevin could also thinking about this because you know this rumor that you've been sharing about the greatest shirt of all time that hasn't been revealed. Would RoboCop Sting compare?
No.
Wow.
In a different way, maybe.
Okay. Yeah,
in an off the wall way, I would say yes. I will say this.
Don't say too much, but yes, please.
And like I said, tomato. Maybe
okay. All right.
Oh no. This one's all tomato. 100% tomato.
But when I saw it, I was like,
it's all tomato, baby.
It was almost like semi jaw drop type shirt.
Wow.
It was. When are we maybe going to see that?
I know. Is this going to be maybe a reveal
of
the Twippies?
In 2022.
The Twippy Awards?
Save it for show 100.
Which might be the Twippies.
That's in 5 weeks. So
yeah. Save it for show 100.
Yeah, but you guys have to have something new for 100, Brian. Not the wrestling club shirt, Brian.
Oh, come on. I wear my like black tie because it's the fancy award show last year. So I might be pulling that out again. In any event, we can talk about the shirts that we are wearing presently. It's this week's What Are You Wearing?
What are you wearing? What are you wearing? What are you wearing today? What are you wearing? What are you wearing? What are you wearing today?
All right, Jay. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait a couple more weeks for the greatest legendary shirt of all time. But what are you got on tonight, my friend?
Well, just to close on that.
Yeah.
The previous greatest shirt of all time was the MJF Danhausen.
Oh, that was a good one. Yeah.
I think this new one is a little bit better, Kevin, than MJF Danhausen.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all tomato though, no tomato. I went with the Lucha legend, Rey Mysterio, the greatest mask of all time. I had some bonus bucks now that they're on Fanatics. And I've never had a Rey Mysterio shirt. All these years, never had a Rey shirt. So that's what I went with this week.
That's a good classic look. I like the font. It's not very loud. But I was looking at the dates because I was hoping that was like a new Dominic shirt. And how he's claiming like the greatest luchador of all time. And I'm like, is that going to be like his birth date to like how we are now? But no, I guess it's a Ray one. That's cool too. Go ahead, Joe.
I'm going with since I didn't think you'd be wearing the British Bulldog shirt, so I went with the cartoon Andre the Giant shirt in honor of you not knowing that you're not wearing the British Bulldog one. Maybe next week.
No British politic worthy incidents that I knew about. So
oh shit. Today, Friday is 11/11.
Yes, it is.
So what do we have to do now then?
And Jay, what's 11 plus 11?
What?
I was giving you a first grade math question. What's 11 plus 11?
Well, she asked the teacher. He knows everything
that
else.
So are we okay?
Because I don't do the
Jay?
work for my students. I let them figure it out.
Jay that was like your dog chasing a squirrel moment there.
Huh? What?
That was your shit, it's 11:11.
It's 11:11 today.
Yeah. So what happens now? Okay. Kev, what do you have, my friend?
Yeah. Maybe with the 5 count later, maybe we'll see a couple shirts be mentioned. Maybe somebody will mention my guy. I am repping Bret the Hitman Hart, pure skull, white, pink, black shirt off Pro Wrestling Tees. Second time I'll mention them today. No, we're gonna get touch base on Bret in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was a great opportunity to support the Hitman.
He was just quickly in the news for comments that Road Dogg made on his podcast.
Yeah.
I saw something to the effect of like, Bret wasn't a great wrestler or something to that effect. And
A great sports entertainer.
Sports entertainer. Okay. And a lot of people lost their mind over good old Road Dogg saying something like that about
But
Bret.
the thing is, Bret, like, I'm not the biggest fan of his, friend of the show, but I was always a Sean guy.
Show.
97, he was the best sports
Sean's
entertainer.
better than Bret in every way.
Yeah, but he was like so good in 97. But that's 1 year.
Canada,
Yes.
anti-US Bret was fantastic. Yeah, completely.
He's still good, but Sean was always, my opinion, better.
I agree. I also do have one of our shirts. I think my stepmom got this for me for Christmas. Yeah. So
I know.
Hope maybe we'll
I get
some more Christmas purchases.
Is that what she bought you, the ladies' tea first?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
A woman small.
She meant to get one for Harper or something. I don't know. It was a mess. It was
parents and the internet. Never goes well.
Indeed. So Crown Jewel is in the books from this past Saturday. Hopefully, listeners, viewers, you checked out our YouTube page. Jason and Kev gave their instant reactions to the show. And yeah, Logan Paul, Roman Reigns, so much fun. Joe, I'll start with you and then we'll just do roundtable of just all of our thoughts about Crown Jewel.
I liked it, but here's the thing. I already forgot it. It was a really good pay-per-view. Oh, sorry, premium live event overall. I loved the main event. I don't think there was really a dog of a match at all.
Yeah, but Omos and
it was what it was supposed to be. It was
fine.
It was two big guys just like slapping each other for 7 minutes, and it only like that match went longer than Brock and Lashley, which I love that match. I'm not even mad at the ending.
Weird
because
finish.
Brock had to basically get lucky to win. When have we ever seen that? Because Brock was getting destroyed through that, and a lot of people are saying like, Lashley turned heel. I don't think he's a heel.
He's just not putting up with things anymore.
Yeah, he's just like basically like I'm done. I'm not a bad guy. He's like not a bad guy or a good guy. He's just the baddest guy on the roster right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoyed that. I like the tag match a lot. Usos and Brawling Brutes.
Mm-hmm.
The women's tag match was okay. I didn't really like the ending too much. Bailey and Bianca was strange.
I thought that was a clever ending. It was a clever ending.
Yeah, like the
ending. But do you think the golf cart like stalled?
I don't know what the deal with the golf cart was. It was not. Yeah, I mean, when you go into those situations, there's always the risk of something fucking up, and she missed the table.
Yeah,
off the golf cart. Right. So whatever.
I felt like the golf cart, like the battery died right when it was going down there, and it's like, oh, we got to do something. So that like threw it off.
And the best part was Belair's face. She was like white knuckling. Let's go.
Oh, on the golf cart, yeah.
But it was just like
when you put that regulator at 1 mile an hour.
Right. And the main event was just entertaining. Period. And Roman at the beginning with his like, and the end with he's like, I never want to see him again.
Yeah. I love the main event. It's going to be a nominee for match of the year. It was just so entertaining. Really? I mean, just like I said, a nominee. I'm not ready to crown anything yet.
I will.
You can.
I've been there live for all the other candidates this year. This is the winner.
Or at minimum, Logan Rookie of the Year.
We'll have breakout performer of the year. And I think he'll be nominated for that. You'd have to think. I think we all went in going, well, he's not going to win. But I think when Jake took out the Usos and he hit like a frog splash on Roman, even I would like, holy, and I knew he didn't win because I didn't get to watch it till like Monday. But it got me. I was still like, Jesus, that could have been the moment that everybody would have gone nuts. So absolutely impressive. And yeah, everything else you guys said, I like the show. It finally does seem like these Saudi shows have gotten more on the level of regular premium live events where they kind of existed their own wacky universe and like were really good, kind of house show adjacent and just
they
bizarre.
were like international house shows.
Yeah,
it was like Crown Jewel, Super Showdown. Those are all just like house shows that were on the network. Now it seems like a real big deal.
I agree. I am ready for what's next in the Bray Wyatt thing. How are we doing this? Like, how are you feuding with yourself? And it's been the same thing.
Undertaker did it.
It's that's true. Who could ever?
Kane did it.
Who could ever forget? So I'm ready to see what's next because it's been a lot of the same. Just I'm doing a promo, I get interrupted. So I'm curious, but I hope it starts to move along a little bit. Kev, Jay, was there anything else from after you guys did your recap? What else you thought of after the fact? Or
when we did the recap, I saw the 3 matches, right? Tag, women's last standing, main event. Went back, watched the rest, and I think what I watched overpowered, and that's all I had in my mind were those matches and the main event. Everything else was fine. It was good, but I felt like kind of Joe hit on it, like kind of forget, like Clash of the Castle. It was great at the time, but I will have that main event in my mind. That's the thing. That's the biggest thing.
Yep.
To be honest, I thought Crown Jewel was just as good as Clash, but that main event was probably one of the best matches of the year.
Yeah,
and the guy's been in 3 fucking matches. That's the crazy thing. 3 matches.
Yeah, Mr. 3 matches.
He's incredible.
Brock won the championship after 3 matches.
I was listening
to UFC.
I was listening to Busted Open and Dreamer. I think it was Dreamer, and he was like, if he just went to the PC for 3 months, I think he said 3 months, every single day trained, he would be one of the best wrestlers on the planet.
I mean, I don't even know if he needs that.
That's the crazy thing.
He's better than 75% of the roster in WWE. He's better than AEW's roster. Like, yeah, give him 3 months. Obviously now the injury and stuff's gonna delay everything.
Yeah, I hope it's not a long-term.
This guy is the real deal, and I have been on the bandwagon from day one.
I would love to, I think in the immediate, before we knew that there were some injuries, I think people immediately went to, all right, Logan and Jake versus the Usos. That's a big WrestleMania match. But
Jake needs to learn not to hit people. His working punches were not that good.
Right. No, they weren't. It was like, I'm going to hit you, and then I stop and go.
Yeah.
Very much on the level of Logan's not so great Sweet Chin music.
Oh, gosh.
It was so bad.
Unsweet chin music.
Sour chin music.
Sour chin.
What's the stevia? Is that it? Is that
like
substitute?
What's that called? Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Splenda, that's the one.
Splenda chin music.
Splenda chin music. We gotta put that on a shirt.
Sweet and low chin music.
There it is. So Roman survives on Tuesday. He hit 800 days as champ. One of the longest title reigns of the modern era, certainly. So this run by Roman, whether it's been fighting Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, Brock, Drew, Seth Rollins, Demon Balor, now Logan Paul, just to name a few. incredibly memorable moments, and it's solidifying Roman, where I think we can at least have a conversation now about him being an all-time great. And kind of looking back, I think they've been doing, like, it's been 10 years of the Shield. I've seen a little stuff online. So you think back to that, and now this 800-day title reign. Where does, like, Roman, when you think just on the surface of where he falls on your, like, all-time list of wrestlers? Because he's making his name for himself.
Number 5.
All time.
Yep.
Like right off the Mount Rushmore.
Yep.
He's right behind the Mount Rushmore saying, "Hey guys." Do you have your top 4 then, Jay? Do you have?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Hogan, Flair, Vince, and Triple H.
So
And
Roman's over
5.
Yeah, but we're talking about actual
Austin, Roman
actual
over Rock.
performers, like in the ring. Vince would have to be disqualified for that.
Vince is a wrestler.
It's up to whoever.
But as a
wrestler,
though, like I would take him off of there. But as a Mount Rushmore, he would definitely be on there.
Are you considering Logan Paul a wrestler right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, as in
he's
Joe.
not just
Yes.
He's not just a YouTuber. Like they keep calling him.
No. I know. This is a question for Joe. So if you consider Logan Paul a wrestler right now, Vince has been wrestling. He's wrestled matches,
but not top 4 of all time.
But that's his opinion.
Yeah, that's his criteria.
Like I have Doink the Clown in mind.
Yeah.
I would say top 10.
Wow.
I for me, like this run, right? I love the longevity of it. He doesn't have to wrestle night in and night out, and he's not on all the time, and it works. And part of it is the bloodline. The whole idea is great. Part of it is Sammy making it great as well. Heyman being in there, right? Like,
did you hear Heyman on After the Bell this week talking about Sammy? Listen to that. He pretty much called him the Bloodline MVP.
He's like the blood right now of the bloodline. He made it. Bloodline was cool. I feel that Sammy made it cooler.
It just took it to a different level. Really good.
And from that, people were already cheering the bloodline. Now you're getting people laughing at the bloodline, and it makes Roman smiling. Even in, like I'm saying, he's on God level, right?
Yeah,
but I love it. I love it. I'd say right around top 10.
Okay. Yeah, we really didn't get to talk about it too much about the whole the whole promo situation where he got everybody to pop when Roman said, we're gonna call you Sammy Uso, and that whole thing. It was incredible stuff. For me, I mean, I didn't do too deep thinking on it, but I think he's got to be in that 10 to 20 range, Oh,
wow.
Yeah, I got to think, like he's not above, Macho Man, Shawn Michaels, Flair, Hogan, Rock, Austin. But then, you start to think about other guys like, like I loved Ultimate Warrior as a kid. So where does he shake up with that? Chris Jericho, so I think he's in that 10 to 20 range, and I'd have to really, put my head on straight and really break it all down. But, he's in the conversation, which is absolutely awesome for him.
Even a top 20 is a major compliment.
Completely. And, Shield was amazing. We all loved the Shield. And then there's a lot of years of just, feels like the next Cena, just didn't.
But that was mostly bad booking too, though.
A lot of it, sure.
Bad writing,
forceful booking.
Yeah. So
like as Victor said, his keyword last week, organic, right?
Yeah.
This feels organic, and it just kept on growing from there. Joe, where would you rank him?
I would put him in I would put him in the top 10, probably closer to like maybe between 8 and 10, something along that range. Because I'm going with the fact of my lifetime, my eras, who was the top dog of each one of those. So you got like, you have the Hogan, you have Rock and Austin, because they're pretty much both there. You have Triple H, you have Cena, Flair. But then like you got the guys who are like at the top, but they weren't the guy, but they were always like the main event and could put on a great match along the lines of like Shawn Michaels, Macho Man, things like that. But you also got the Undertaker. I mean, there's like so many there. So I wouldn't put him below 10. I think what he's doing now at least gives him I got to acknowledge him as a top 10 of all time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't put him in 10 to 20.
I like how you said acknowledge, by the way.
I gotta find if we were to make a list, I would have to find a way to get Roman Reigns in the top 10.
Yeah.
And if that means I have to eliminate two of my one or two of my favorites of all time, Macho Man or Shawn Michaels, I would.
Wow. Yeah, like two more that just came to my head, like Roman versus Mick Foley, Roman versus Kurt Angle. Like those are two guys I have a lot of love for. And it's like Roman's right there in my head. It's interesting. And that the good part is it's the story continues. So, we'll see. He's only going to go higher, I would think. Monday Night Raw. A couple big things went down. First, let's get into Austin Theory's Money in the Bank cash-in. All right, so to set the stage, Seth Rollins doing a U.S. Championship Open Challenge. It looked first like it was going to be Ali. Lashley threw him in a trunk or something. He beats him up. He comes down. He beats up Seth before the match begins. Theory comes down. He eventually cashes in. Looks like he's going to win, but Bobby beats Theory up. Seth pulls out the win. So Theory not only cashed in on the U.S. title, which has never been done before, he failed. He loses the match. A lot of people are thinking that this was done, first off, incredibly poorly, didn't make sense, and is also a bury of Austin Theory. What do you guys think? Jay, I'll start with you.
I don't care. I just think that
this is a wrestling podcast where we're supposed to give opinions, right? Just checking. Just check. What?
Yeah.
You okay? All right.
I
wasn't really watching. What are we talking about?
No, I mean, it is what it is. It would have made more sense for him to cash in on Braun Breaker, but we're not there. Who knows what, the big thing that came out of this Money in the Bank reign is that he grew a beard, and the beard looked better than the goatee, a million times better. So yes. I don't know what it means. I honestly don't care. I think that this is another storyline. So, okay, it happened, obviously it looks like Seth Rollins is going babyface, which is great. But as far as it's over now, and I'm excited to see what happens next with Theory.
Fair. Yep. Kev?
Well, here's a theory. I will.
Because his name's Theory.
Since Corbin is now say a JBL protege, right? We need someone that's down on their luck.
Oh, okay.
Theory, 25, amazing athlete. Give him the inching up, just can't get the big one, right? Have him go all the way to the next Money in the Bank match. Have him win. And then
he's going to win it again?
Have him be creative.
Okay.
And let it be his redemption.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Wow.
I don't see Theory going with JBL because
No, not with JBL. I mean, since Corbin, was down on his luck, Corbin, happy Corbin, we need someone like that unlucky Corbin type thing. Not going with JBL.
Okay.
I was just saying a down on your luck type guy.
Yeah. Joe, you were shaking your head in disgust there. I saw that. And I know on Monday from our text that you weren't happy with what was going down.
Oh, it's not that I wasn't happy. Dumbest cash-in ever. No one's going to be this stupid again. You go after a championship, a secondary title that you've already had on Monday Night Raw when you could cash in at WrestleMania, even if you lose.
Where was it at, Joe, again?
In BACKSCRATCH, Pennsylvania. Who cares? Like,
I
are
love
you kidding me?
Backstretch PA.
Hey,
One of my
there's a
favorite
guy in the
places to
front
go
row.
to.
Guy in the front row with a sheets greater than Wawa sign. So
Oh,
Wilkes-Barre's
so,
okay with me.
You know, that's
I mean, Backscratch PA is my favorite.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
I have
not
a
as-
vacation home there. It's crazy.
Is that right next to? Do they have a Sheets? In
Yes,
Backstretch?
in
obviously,
Backstretch, yeah,
because
Screech.
do you not know that they're big on sheets there? They're way better than
Sheets
Wawa.
everywhere.
Backscratch, Pennsylvania actually borders Hammer Toe, New York, I think.
Hammer Toe, New York.
Sorry, I lost it.
And Intercourse, PA.
Yes,
Is that right next?
thing.
Is that right next
Yeah.
to Moose Knuckle? Are these real cities you guys are saying? Because I have no idea.
Yeah.
I think Intercourse is, yeah.
No, Moose Knuckle is not.
Anyway,
Anyway.
Backscratch, PA. I got a winter home there. It's good.
okay,
Go skiing.
Kevin, they've done the down on their luck wrestler losing streak who comes back. Problem is, people just think of him as a loser,
They've
and there's
done
no coming back
everything.
from that. They've done everything. So the Simpsons did it too, but this was stupid. This made no sense. He cashed in on Monday Night Raw and lost the U.S. Championship. This is worse than Damian Sandow's dumb cash in on a healthy John Cena, or Corbin's cash in on Jinder Mahal when Cena was there to interrupt. This is going to go down as the worst cash in. No one's going to do worse than this. And I have a theory, no pun intended, on why it happened. Payback. This is Triple H payback for all of those guys that were Triple H guys that Vince ruined on the main roster. Theory was a Vince guy.
Yes, it was.
This is his way of saying, like, it's my book now.
Wow. Can we be the fly on the wall at Thanksgiving dinner when Vince and Triple H sit down and converse about all that? All right, listen. I didn't hate it. I actually liked it. And I have reasons why. But first of all, Theory wasn't even supposed to be, let's go back. He wasn't even supposed to be in the Money in the Bank match. Okay. Remember, that was like just a late Vince addition that night. He lost to Lashley earlier in that night. So that was number one, that this shouldn't have been the guy to get it anyway. Number two, this is the reason why I start to like why he did what he did. He did try a couple of times to take it off Roman, was unsuccessful. SummerSlam, Clash at the Castle. So he's probably thinking in his head, it ain't happening. Number three, Roman isn't around, guys. You know, he's there every other week on a different show. Theory's young. He's impatient. Okay. Number four, and I've got bullet points there. Number four, he lost to Seth Rollins last week. So he's pissed about that. And finally, number five, Seth in his promo before the US Open Challenge talked about two things. Number one, how important the US title is. Basically saying, because Roman's got the other championships, this is the belt now. And number two, how Seth hadn't had a title in a long time. What better way to get heat than to take the title off a guy who expressed just how happy he was to finally have a title? So my only issue is Theory didn't win. Why didn't he win? That part I don't understand. Let him have the US title and people could go, that's silly, but he would have gotten the heat. Seth feeling bad about just losing a title that he just won. Theory had his reasons for revenge. He just lost to the guy last week. And you go from there. And that's how I would have done it. So the loss, yeah, I don't know where they're going. I like the redemption story idea, but but I was surprised that he did lose. Everything else leading up to that, I was fine with.
Why didn't he win? Keith Bearcat Lee carrying Cross in the S&M gear, losing to Jeff Hardy. Aleister Black, Ricochet.
Yeah.
Any other NXT guys that got brought up and immediately was shown the door?
Yeah. No, I get you. And you're saying it in the chat too. Why not call your shot at the main event at WrestleMania? Well, why hasn't anybody else done that? You know, so
Kennedy tried and got injured, and Edge took it off of him.
Okay, I could not remember that.
Yeah, he said it the night after WrestleMania 3. 1 year from now, main event. He called a shot, but then he got injured. They never revisited it. You want to make it fresh? Have the person do a Rock Cena type like build, saying like, "I'm going to Mania next year as the main event." doesn't matter what they do. They're like, I'm going to be in the main event next year.
Yeah.
They could have their loser story, but they're like, doesn't matter. I'm going to the main event.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm not putting that all on theory because it's like, well, there's 15 other guys who could have done the same thing, but yeah, I get where you're headed with that at least. We got our answer to the OC's Rhea problem. It's Mia Yim, and we kind of gave our theories last week. I don't think any of us said Mia Yim. What's the thoughts on Mia Yim, guys? Yay, nay, don't care, Jay, right?
Yay, move on.
Okay.
It makes sense.
Yeah. Why? Explain,
I think Kevin's
Joseph.
sleeping with his eyes open.
Explain.
No, I'm here. I think it's okay.
Mia Yim was recently on Impact. So were so were the Good Brothers.
Yeah.
Connection.
Yeah. Okay, so before that, how much did the needle move for you for Mia Lim? A lot.
You love her, Mia Yim.
You want to try the third time?
Mia
You
Lim.
didn't get it right either time.
Yeah. Did you love her as a performer? Did you think she was great? Impact, that or not? Who cares?
You know who I put her?
It was okay
for NXT days. I'd put her like slightly over like Dakota Kai, just slightly. Like, and Dakota Kai, I'm like fine, okay. And Mia Yim, I'd put like a slip of a notch more. I was just glad it wasn't somebody on the roster already or somebody called NXT. Like that was nice, and it's fine. But I was really hoping for Black Leather Charlotte.
Dark hair Charlotte would have been
that would have been good. Nikki Cross, she wins the 24/7 title. She fails. Maybe that's the perfect synopsis of the 24/7 title. She tried to put it in the trash and she missed. It's on the ground. If poor R-Truth didn't tear his quad at NXT, I'd hope he'd scoop it up and we'd roll from there. Will anyone miss the 24/7 title? Anyone?
No.
Any favorite memories of the 24/7 title?
Leave the memories alone.
I did love the R-Truth wedding. Or no, that was what's his name? Drake Maverick wedding when R-Truth threw roses in his face and he acted like he had a bunch of acid.
Drake Maverick and R-Truth's interaction was the only good part of the 24/7 title.
That was the Hall of Fame worthy moments of the 24/7 title. And so we got the first setup of War Games coming up in a couple weeks. We got Damage Control and Nikki Cross. So we got 4 of their 5 versus Bianca, Alexa, and Asuka. So we got 1 member missing on the Damage Control team. We've got 2 members on the Bianca team. Who should be the missing members on the team? Who are you filling out the roster with?
I think for Damage Control, it's Carmella. If she's back, they had some health stuff. So if it's not Carmella, I say it's Charlotte. And then you put Becky and Sasha on with Bianca's team.
Okay.
Or flip-flop Sasha and Charlotte, then Sasha turns on Bianca.
Could do that. Kev?
I'm thinking. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kevin.
Nope,
sorry.
I'd very similar to Jay. I actually had Charlotte being on the good face, Sasha coming back with Damage Control. I added another person. It's just those 2 returning, I think, adds more than anything it to anyone else's in the match. I want Sasha heel 100%. Have her come out, have her rip into everything of why maybe she left and why she's coming back. She doesn't care about the fans. I want, what do you always say, Jay?
Ratchet.
Yeah,
Sasha
Ratchet, Sasha.
Sasha's Ratchet. That's the one that we need back.
And set it up. That if those 2 don't come back in the match, I think it could just be stale. I think if one shows up, it will be okay. We need both. We need both those returning. And Naomi, if she returns, cool. I really don't care.
Nobody cares. What about NXT call-ups? Does any of that make sense?
Not on my 3. Jay, you hit 2 of my 3. I had Carmella on Damage Control. I had Becky on Bianca's team, but I also had Candice LeRae because I think the Damage Control rules put her out, right? So she'll come back. So I got Candice and Becky filling out that team. So you got 2, Joe, you said?
Yeah, I said Candice and Becky because it made sense storyline wise because Becky was there when Damage Control made their debut together at SummerSlam.
Exactly.
And Candice is a War Games vet.
True. That's true.
So like
From
that's
NXT
another
days.
thing you got to like put in there. Candice like goes all out for the War Game matches. Now
But
for the women's side, I was like, I guess Charlotte, but it doesn't make sense because she doesn't play nice with anyone. And why would Bailey accept her on the team? I don't know. And plus, I don't want Charlotte back. That's another thing too.
If we don't see
what if she has a black leather jacket?
If we don't see EO jump off with the trash can on her, I'm going to be really disappointed.
That's like your favorite spot of all time, isn't it, Kev? It was a great spot.
It's so
But did any of you see Becky Lynch as Cyndi Lauper on Young Rock?
No. Well,
I watched the clip.
I saw
a
the clip.
Yeah.
She was really good. You couldn't
looked
even
good.
tell. No Irish accent at all.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, they put Young Rock in that death spot of like 8 o'clock on Fridays.
8:30.
8:30.
George Lopez is the lead in.
Oh, Lopez is first. Okay. Yeah.
Right in that TGF or TGIF slot of Perfect
right
Strangers.
after Full House. Yeah.
Come on, Belky.
Come on, this is the Boy Meets World slot. It worked in the 90s.
I don't like it, man. I forgot about it now.
Stay tuned for Family Matters.
Side note, Cousin
Family
Larry
Matters.
is in She-Hulk. Thank you.
Yeah.
Fucking Urkel. Who is wait?
Hey, it's Stefan Urkel, okay?
You're so angry right now.
He was always messing things up. And then he questioned himself about it.
He wouldn't even take responsibility. He's like, no accountability, Urkel.
Right.
Did I do that? We all know you
that
did.
That Family Matters podcast is now concluding.
All right. Yeah, Uncle Winslow, right?
Carl Winslow.
It's Carl.
Was he someone's uncle that I'm thinking of?
No,
he was a cop.
Okay.
He was a cop in Die Hard. He was a cop in Ghostbusters, and he was a cop on Family Matters.
Hey.
Reginald Val Johnson.
There it is. Man. We got to get him to announce an award at the Twippies. What's he up to on Cameo?
I'm not paying for that. I'm not paying for that.
I will pay.
Guessing
I will
$7.
I will pay. All right. So SmackDown tonight. One big thing that's happening. The Usos looking to surpass the New Day as the longest tag team title reign of 483 days. And they're taking on the New Day. We had a great promo work from all four guys on Monday. Guys, do the Usos do it?
Yes.
Yes or no? Yep.
Yes.
They do it with the Freebird rule.
The Usos?
Jay apparently got hurt or something. Have Sammy's an Uso now.
Whoa.
And then Sammy's the reason they extend the record.
My.
Or Sammy's the reason they lose the record.
My, oh my. I love it, Jay. Shit. Booker of the year.
Either way, you can't lose.
Wow. God, fast forward to Friday night at 8 o'clock. I can't wait.
That prediction is
so
very
good.
Usi.
That's an Usi prediction.
Indeed.
Usi, that is the Usi prediction of the week.
The only thought I had is if New Day were to win, they would win because let's put Big E in the front row. Let's bring Big E out. He probably can't be at ringside per se, but let's put him in the front row and maybe he can do some sort of distraction thing with Sammy or whatever else. But this is big. Big E was a big part of that record.
Big E will play the trombone. That's will be his role.
Sure, get whatever, but get Big E. If Big E is there, the Usos are winning. That's all I'm saying. But I'm sorry. What did I say? Big E wins. New Day's winning. That's my thing. If I see Big E on my screen on Friday night, I'm saying New Day's taking it right away.
I hope New Day doesn't win. Let the Usos just run everything.
Yeah.
And like I said, my Freebird rule is the best way to go about it.
Oh boy.
My dog, I know you're hurt. We can't put you into this match, my dog. But since the tribal chief made me an Uso last week or 2 weeks ago, let me step in. Let me do my part for the bloodline, my dogs.
Yeah, that's gold. That's gold. Okay. I'm legit excited that might happen because they talked about that wrist injury thing. So
yeah.
Whoo-wee. Okay, that's fire.
Next,
Jay. That's great. Quick AEW news. Next week we'll obviously do the preview predictions for Full Gear. Last week while we were recording with Victor, Jeff Jarrett showed up.
An amazing acquisition by AEW.
We'll get your thoughts. Yeah. Aligned with Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, Satnam Singh, immediately smashed a guitar on Darby. And it looks like we're getting Jeff and Lethal taking on Darby and Sting at Full Gear. Jeff also took a little shot at Braun Strowman and Triple H on Dynamite, by the way. Jeff is he's going to be like something like director of live touring for AEW.
It's what he was doing for WWE.
Exactly. Yeah. So and the most real case of life imitating art, where Road Dogg replaced Jeff Jarrett for that position, just like he did with My Baby Tonight.
Little do you know, he was doing it the whole time.
Yes,
he was.
What? So Jay, Jeff Jarrett's your guy. Let's hear.
Love Jeff Jarrett, and here's the thing: if they let Jeff Jarrett be Jeff Jarrett, he's going to be the biggest heel in the company. And if you haven't seen Ric Flair's last match yet, watching Jeff Jarrett work that crowd into a fucking frenzy. Let him do that on TV. The shot at Triple H and Braun, it's fucking stupid at this point. Like, you're never going to be better than WWE ever. You're in a nice spot, super indie, spot number 2, great. But Jeff Jarrett, I was so excited last week when I saw it. Now that he's in, he can help with the young guys, he can put people over. It's the best situation to have a guy like Jarrett. Now, yes, sign more guys, blah, blah, blah. But when you get guys of quality, it makes sense.
The coaching, I think it
sign the right guys.
That is great. Make that a shirt. And Jeff, his arms looked huge, phenomenal shape. Still looks great.
Mid-50s, and he's ripped.
Yeah. Great acquisition. Great acquisition.
I think it makes sense. I mean, you got a guy like Jarrett out there. You take advantage of it. You take advantage of the pedigree. You take advantage of the mind. You take advantage of the performer.
Yeah, and
he doesn't have to run the company.
Right. He doesn't have to be TNA Jeff Jarrett in that role.
But they also talked about on Impact, they're going to start going on the road more. So I'm guessing this means more house shows are coming. They're going to the UK next year, which is amazing. I just thought it was weird.
AEW.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting, though, the way they brought it up on TV. We have all this stuff we're going to announce next week. But, Excalibur, I don't know if I can say this, but, we're going to go to the UK.
That was a very, just casually drop that out there. Yeah.
Because it was like, I'm not supposed to say something, but I'm going to say something anyway. Like, it is what it is. But I think having Jarrett in that role, now that they're going to be hitting the road, makes sense. I think an AEW house show look, the Dynamites are fun. Rampage is fun. I think a house show, which are my favorite shows to go to in all of wrestling, I'm excited for that. Like, the tickets went on sale for Dynamite here in January. I'm in no rush. Like, if I decide to go the day of, I know I can get a good seat for $60. There's no reason for me to get tickets 3 months out.
Yeah, and it's good too that I've seen commercials on Dynamite and online. Like they're finally getting to new markets. Like California was, I think, just in the last year, Jay, and they're like, hey, we're going to, I think, like Portland, Oregon, and Kentucky, because they've been tons of Florida, tons of Texas, tons of Chicago. So having Jeff Jarrett there to kind of maybe help to steer that.
Pittsburgh a couple times, Cleveland a couple times.
Yeah, a lot of the same places. So
Ohio a lot, Michigan once.
Just once, yeah. So that's gonna, I think, help to keep the crowds fresh too. I feel like a lot of the crowds have been seeing it multiple times in the last year. So certainly, his mind's going to be a real asset for them. Also found out on Dynamite, Saraya is cleared to wrestle. It'll be her and Britt at Full Gear. I think her last match was 5 years ago, but she has gotten medical clearance. The promo was interesting.
It was terrible.
I wouldn't say.
It was the same. It was the same shit the Usos and New Day did on Monday night.
Oh, well, yeah.
All their problems.
Yeah.
All their troubles, all their problems.
Yeah. Well, and I think I like that, but boy, I tell you what, the crowd took a little while because when she was starting off with the, Britt, you don't know nothing. I think the AEW crowd went, no, that's our girl.
Right.
We've been watching her for 4 years and we like her. And eventually they got behind it a little bit.
It just doesn't make, it didn't make, Saraya doesn't make sense. It's not your house. You literally just got here.
Exactly.
You haven't wrestled in 5 years. You haven't done shit.
Right. And
honestly,
AEW crowd loves Britt.
Who cares? Like, back to the whole sign the right people. She's not the right people. Jeff Jarrett's the right people.
Oh, well, I like that at least it's a name for the women's division. If she, if she can go.
But
so that's what we'll find out. I am a little nervous.
Saraya's the B-side on this feud. She's the B-side. If we get something good out of it, great. But I don't expect anything.
She's the female CM Punk of this feud.
Yeah.
All hyped by the
new outsider.
All hyped by the owner, and the crowd in the originals are like, what are you doing? You're saying it's your house. You haven't wrestled in 5 years. You're saying you're the best in the world. You haven't wrestled in 7 years. She is this female CM Punk.
There's no winner in that match.
No, Britt Baker's the winner.
Well,
but it'll be Saraya because Tony Khan likes all that.
But if she beats Britt, then the only thing you can logically give the winner of that match, title shot. Rankings don't matter. That's the only logical thing. And then what? She'll win. She'll get the title.
Get hurt.
Have a media scrum.
And just badmouth everybody. I mean,
badmouth all the women that she works with.
It could happen. It could happen.
Well, hopefully, if she gets the AEW title, she doesn't do what she did with the NXT title.
I hope she did. I hope she did.
That'd make it more interesting.
What's up? What's up, Xavier Woods?
I say don't follow that CM Punk playbook, or else she'll be calling minor league mixed martial arts on Fight Pass, like apparently he's doing tonight. So I don't think anybody wants to do that.
She doesn't do anything.
Hailing out of BACKSCRATCH, Pennsylvania.
It was BACKSCRATCH. Give him credit.
That's the rival town of BACKSCRATCH.
Yeah, exactly.
They just hate each other.
They play every Friday night.
Listen, I just want her to. I hope she's okay. I just don't want her to be have another parallel, because that's the thing. She had a long time off in WWE, came back. And I feel like she wasn't back long when she got injured again, that she retired. So, I just hope she's all good. That's all that really matters to me at this point. 25 years ago on Wednesday, one of the most important days in wrestling history, the Montreal Screwjob. We don't need to go over what took place, but rather I wanted to bring this up because I remember what I was doing. And I wanted to know what you guys were doing. Were you watching Survivor Series? You remember your reaction when it happened, or maybe you found out on Raw or Nitro the next night when the word got out? Who has memories from that day 25 years ago this past Wednesday?
What? You go first, Joe.
All right. I was at my buddy Wes's house basement. There were about 10 of us. It was a very 8 Brett, myself, and my buddy Jamie were the only 2 that were Sean guys. So the pay-per-view was not good at all. It was very like late 90s, like new generation pay-per-view.
Yeah.
When it happened, 30 minutes left in the on the runtime, we were confused. We weren't really hitting the dirt sheet. So we're getting ready to watch Raw. Well, I was just basically like, I want to see what's on Raw the next day, but I was more interested in watching Nitro. So I was more excited for that, to see, is Brett going to show up on Nitro? Because we all knew he was going to WCW. So that's where we were at. We were more confused, and it was like, my buddy Jamie and I were like, yeah, Sean won. He made him tap. Like we were being jerks because we were 18. But, Kevin, what about you being a Brett guy?
It was. I remember exactly where I was. I was in my buddy Matt Callis's house. I can't remember how many people were there, but I remember his mom just always charged $5. Didn't matter how many people came, if it covered the pay-per-view cost or not. She just, it was $5, and that's where we always went. Confusion. That's it. That's I truly remember absolute confusion. I remember going home and I was just like, what just happened? Right. Cause I was like, we didn't see anything up to that point like that. But then leading the next day, I remember I thought about it for the longest time. I'm still confused when I really think about it.
I know you are.
You know what I mean?
You've talked about that before.
That's the thing. Like, so many years later, but I would just remember, I agree with Joe. Just in a very lackluster overall pay-per-view, right? In 25 years, man, time flies.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
Now you're making me pull up the card. Jay, why don't you talk about your memories if you have?
I don't have any memory because I don't know where I was. But while you're looking for the card, I do find it interesting that Stokely Hathaway said the phrase "dick riding" several times on AEW this week.
Well, yeehaw!
I heard that.
Just found that interesting. I was like, wow, okay. So they've cut the amount of times you can say shit, but dick riding is okay. Turner.
Wow.
Dick riding without a license.
So the card, we had the I know what you're saying here about new generation, because this is like we're getting to the Attitude Era. We got the New Age Outlaws.
We're not there yet.
Yeah, we're getting there because we got the New Age Outlaws, Attitude, and the Godwins, new generation, defeated the Headbangers and the New Blackjacks, new generation. The Truth Commission defeated the Disciples of Apocalypse. Team Canada, which was Bulldog, Jim Neidhart, Doug Furness, and Phil LaFawn, defeated Team USA. Vader, Goldust, Mark Merrow, and Steve Blackman with Sable, by the way. Kane and Mankind. So that's a good one. Ken Shamrock, Ahmed Johnson, and Legion of Doom defeated Nation of Domination, which was Rock, Farouk, Kama, and D'Lo. Steve Austin defeated Owen Hart, but is 4 minutes.
That was when
Tony broke his neck.
I can't know.
No, he broke his neck at SummerSlam. This was his
No,
rematch.
Yeah.
So it was just a 4 minute match.
But he was still injured, so that's why it was only a 4 minute match.
Quick in and out thing. Okay.
Man, the Hearts did not have a good night in Montreal that night.
No, not at all. Except Team Canada did beat Team USA. So Bulldog and Neidhart walked out winners. So I did not order the show. I didn't know anybody who was ordering the show. So I had, when you flipped it on, it was like the scrambled pay-per-view, right? And anybody kids listening, who weren't there back in the day, you don't know what this was like, but you could turn on the channel and it would just be scrambled colors, but you could hear it. So it was like listening to the radio. And I was into the internet and the dirt sheets. Does the name Sushi X ring a bell to anybody?
No.
Okay.
Was that your username?
That was my username.
Yeah, was that you?
On
Sushi X
or whatever. No, but like I can remember word leaking during the week leading up to Survivor Series that Bret Hart is going to WCW and there's a whole thing and yada yada. And I used to call like these Mean Gene adjacent hotlines. Like I'd find these hotline numbers that were like 874 and it was like there's this guy Sushi X who was like, I've got the scoop. And I'd call and I'd like hang
up. Did he say pal at the
this is
sentence?
real. This
I
is
can imagine your mom. Brian,
oh yeah,
this charge.
Yeah.
Why is who is Sushi X? Why are you calling him 3 times a week?
Mom, he is the
raw Sushi X were like this, man. Yeah.
Who's Mr. X, Homer? I remember that the house show before Survivor Series was in Detroit. I didn't get to go to it,
that's
but
right.
friends of mine went to it and everyone was just booing Brett and saying you sold out at WCW. So it was known.
that was
he
shown on
going.
that Beyond the Mat.
Yeah, even without
yeah.
the dirt sheets. I mean, they
Yeah.
said they were hyping it during the match. This will probably be the last time they face each other.
Yeah.
That was their way of saying Brett's leaving.
Yeah. 25 years. Where's the time go, Kev? Like you said, man, crazy stuff.
Lies.
So SmackDown tonight is kicking off a tournament to crown a new number one contender to Gunther's IC title. They're calling it the SmackDown World Cup. This is a nice, the term is corporate synergy between Fox programs, as they're going to be broadcasting the Men's World Cup beginning, I believe, later in November. Guys, do you get into the World Cup at all?
I try soccer every couple years, and this year I watched a little more. And then Saturday after Crown Jewel, the MLS final, LAFC in Philadelphia played. I started watching it halftime, and talk about, like, I've watched some soccer games, and they haven't all been super exciting. This one, holy hell, it was 1-0 LAFC. Then Philly scored.
Oh, 1-0.
Then LA scored. And then Philly scored again. Then it went to overtime. In overtime, a guy from Philly was running towards net. The goalie challenged him, and they collided, and the goalie broke his leg. So they had to go to a backup goalie. Then they went to shootout. The championship determined by a shootout with a guy who was sitting on the bench the whole day. Went to shootout. LA ended up winning, which was awesome.
I was hoping the backup one, but yeah, that's
so
cool.
Philly
the
lost
backup
2
did
championships in one day.
Oh, that's
Took
right.
my fucking line, Joe. I was about to say that.
Sorry.
I have the Philly bias. I hate Philadelphia, and seeing them lose 2 major sports championships in the same day made my day.
Yeah. World
Let's
Cup.
go to the 5 count.
Yeah. That soccer podcast. We'll see you next week. All right.
That Wrestling Podcast presents the 5 count.
So for this week's 5 count, try something a little different here. What I did was I assigned each of us a country, and we get to pick our 5 favorite male wrestlers to represent each country. Male because it's the Men's World Cup. So we're going to find out who our favorites are. And then, kind of for fun, I'm going to jot all these down, and we can kind of look at like what some of the matchups of the picks would be and see kind of what we got out of it. Joe, I have you first with your country, my friend. You have
England.
Yes. Old
thank
England.
you for that one. That made it a lot easier for me.
That's kind of what I tried to do.
Before you say it, are these obvious? Are you going with the most obvious, or are you going with ones that's your favorite?
Ones that are my favorite, but it's pretty obvious. I did do some research on it because I looked through the list, and I'm sorry. If it was a different show, I'd get it down for this. Simon Miller did not make my list.
I don't know who that is. So
he's on What Culture Wrestling. He's also a wrestler too. Good show. Number 5, I put down Pac. I like him.
Good choice.
I think he's a good choice. I think he's can wrestle with anybody.
Yep.
Number 4, it is part of England. Drew McIntyre.
Sure.
Got to go with Drew
United
McIntyre.
Kingdom.
Like he's United Kingdom, Scotland. Number 3, just for the fact of like not just of how good of a wrestler he was, but how many people that he trained and how many people that he mentored. Regal.
Yeah.
Number 2, Dynamite Kid. May have been an a-hole behind the scenes, but him in the ring, 80s, like no one could top him except for number 1, because I'm going with wrestling and / sports entertainer. This shirt was not just for the Andre thing, but the British Bulldog was number 1. When you think of English wrestlers, Wembley Stadium, Bulldog versus Brett. Bulldog gets that pop. He was a great wrestler, but he was a great entertainer who left us too soon. That's my 5 count for England.
This is your teacher, so please correct me. Is Ireland part of the United Kingdom?
only Northern Ireland. Finn Balor and Fit Finlay did not make it because
Sheamus,
they were in the, they did not make it because they were not in part of the the nerd in me looked at the map to make sure, because Ireland, only Northern Ireland is part of England, not
why don't you
the
already
Republic
know that?
of
You're
Ireland.
supposed to be an educator of today's youth.
I
you don't
am,
know
but
that already.
It's also
Why
called
wouldn't you know
double.
that?
It's called double checking your facts.
You should know these things, Joe. You're a teacher, for Christ's sake.
Jason, go ahead with your.
But Brian, I knew what you were going with. Okay, you were probably like, "Where's Finley? Where's no?" And Sheamus.
I didn't know if it counted for sure. So
it didn't. They're not part of England, and being not Irish, you should have known that. It's a very sensitive subject.
I understand. Go for it, brother.
So Jason, much like my choices in wrestling shirts, I'm not going with the most obvious. I'm not going with the ones that everyone else is going to pick. I got Canada.
Yes, sir.
Bret Hart ain't on my list. Owen Hart ain't on my list.
Breaking my heart.
That's sad.
Number 5.
Keep on rocking. Yep.
Bobby Roode.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Okay.
Heard he might be coming back soon. Yep.
Ethan Page.
Okay.
Number 3, Eric Young. The work he's doing right now in Impact is unbelievable. I never thought I would have cared about Eric Young in 2022.
Good question. Yep. A good sentence.
Number 2, Impact World Champion Josh Alexander. If you don't know who that is, you need to Google and watch some of the matches this guy has. Unbelievable. And number 1, a guy that I was a fan of for years. I couldn't believe he went away, and then he came back and he became the champ, and he is the greatest champ ever next to Roman Reigns, one Jinder Mahal. He is from
wow.
Number 1.
No Edge, no Christian.
Nope.
No Don Callis, no Jericho. My goodness. The biggest example of don't hinder Jinder of all time. Right there.
Any excuse to put Jinder Mahal on there. Come on.
Love Jinder Mahal. Another one. I've been down since the beginning.
Yes, you have.
And again, I don't need the obvious.
No, it's your list. It's more than okay.
See, that's why I didn't. That's why I didn't put Will Ospreay on mine.
Do you even know who that is?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
New Japan, and he was on AEW over the summer during Forbidden Door.
Well, I'm a little bit. I'm a mix of known and personal favorites, and you guys can probably already figure out.
Kev just pulled the Art Donovan of who's this guy.
What country do you have? What country do you have?
I have south of the border.
Yeah, there Mexico. It is. Viva.
And I don't know if Brian gave me that.
You two are wearing the wrong shirt.
But I used it because I love it.
Joe, you're right.
I almost pulled out a Josh Alexander shirt,
right?
But I was like, I haven't worn this Ray one, so.
Oh, that's
go ahead, Kevin.
All right,
number 5. Just because
Dominic
unlike Joe, I did absolutely no research, and I thought of people that I saw and people that I've liked over the years. 5, the only old person I had on my list, a little bit of Tito Santana.
Oh, okay.
Just because he was on so many manias growing up.
Oh, yeah.
Number 4, he made the list. It was either El Dandy, La Parca, or this guy, or any other person that Jericho listed off on that amazing setup to the match.
Yeah.
And I saw him actually with Jay and GCW in Vegas. I put Juventud Guerrera. They all the Lucha guys in WCW. And I hate to like Psychosis. I hate to bulk them all in one group, but they're all phenomenal. Like the Lucha style. Number 3, Rey Mysterio. Jay, you're wearing the shirt. One of the best, to ever lace up the boots from the country of Mexico. Number 2, Conan.
I knew you put him on there.
Totally.
personal favorite and number one.
Yep.
Believe me, personal. I loved Conan, but nothing can beat Eddie.
Yeah,
Eddie number
easy.
one. Easy. Everything about him when he got to WWE propelled to another effing level.
Apologies to Chavo.
And my list
Chavo's
was, yeah, right when I was going to say Conan 5, Conan 4.
A clean sweep for Conan for Mexico.
What do you have against El Dandy?
who is your country? If you have USA and you're going to say Bad Bunny because of the territory
Rock,
Puerto Rico.
Before you go, bringing up Bad Bunny, it seems that at his concerts, there's a lot of fights in the crowd. Like if you're on Instagram Reels and if you just scan through, there's always chicks fighting at Bad Bunny concert. It's the weirdest thing.
Oh, the females are fighting.
Yeah, but there's always fights at Detroit Lions games.
Yeah, but why would they do that at Bad Bunny concert? Like we're here to have fun.
Off.
So this ain't Metallica or some shit. All right, friends. I gave myself the country of Japan, and apologies to Kazuchika Okada and Yoshihiro Tajiri. They did not make my list. My number 5, Antonio Inoki. I mean, he's just the legend of legends. He fought Muhammad Ali, guys. I had to put him on there. I couldn't not keep him on there. Number 4, the Great Muta. He was probably the first Japanese wrestler I can remember. The Green Mist, the whole thing. It was fucking awesome. Number 3, Masato Tanaka. He was a beast in like the last year or so of ECW. You watch those matches with Mike Awesome. My God. I mean, now it's the poster child for CTE, and don't do this because they're just doing unprotected chair shots to the head over and over again. But the guy was phenomenal. So that's my number 3. My number 2 is Shinsuke Nakamura. Loved him from the moment I saw him in NXT. My number 1, I know I've mentioned this guy before. It's just a guy who, as a kid, I was just gravitated toward. Jushin Thunder Liger. I was just like, you're a freaking Power Ranger in the ring. You're amazing. So that's my number 1. So we'll kind of throw out like some, 5 versus 5s, 4 versus 4. So how about a Drew McIntyre number 4 versus Juventud Guerrera match? Hey,
I don't know.
Drew
in Vegas was jacked.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
I will say that. I mean, his arms look like Drew's.
Yeah, but Drew's arms are Drew's. Drew wins.
How about Bobby Roode versus Antonio Inoki? That's a main event in any country in the world. How about we do a triple threat with our number 3s? We'll go Regal, Eric Young, and Rey Mysterio. That's actually a really good match. I'd love to see that match.
That's a SummerSlam 2006.
And I probably could have been, yeah. All right, how about
who's Conan beaten?
Conan
versus the Dynamite Kid.
Conan versus Dynamite Kid. Conan versus Josh Alexander. Conan versus Shinsuke Nakamura. That's a
fatal 4-way.
Yeah, fatal 4-way there. And one more, we got to go with Jinder Mahal and Eddie Guerrero for all the marbles there. That's good stuff. So hey, hope everybody enjoys the World Cup, and I hope you enjoyed this week's podcast.
Who made your 5 count? Let us know on social media using the hashtag TWP5count.
All right, that's about all the time we have for this week's podcast. The football picks will be back. We had the Jason live reaction video last week as the kids went on their bye week. Jay, it was everything I hoped it would be, where you laughed at some funny shit and you rolled your eyes at some dumb shit.
I hate the clips. I've hated the clips for 3 fucking years now.
Love it. The clips.
Yeah. Brett throwing the apple really made me laugh.
Kev, I legit popped at that.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
And Kevin, I was surprised that you guys did the full bars. I saw some of your pictures you posted from after. You had like 3 card tables full of full size candy bars, which is
we've been a full size candy bar house here.
Did you get rid of them all?
This is the crazy thing. So we bought 150, right, to start off the night.
Jesus Christ.
And it only that's actually, you think that's a lot, or you think that's
Dude, we bought 50 full size and a bag of fun size as backups. And
how many did you end up with?
They were all gone.
Okay, so we bought 150, but we hit up Costco when it was like $13 for a 30 pack, $15, like, and we did a variety thing.
So they were stale.
No, we went like the week or so before. There was 4 left at the end of the night, all Snickers, right? And this had like Baby Ruths in there. I love 100 grands. And Laura's like, yeah, all these young kids wanted the old man candies. And I'm like, girl, don't mess with my 100 grands.
Yep.
But no, yeah, we decided to be the full size candy house because that house gets remembered. You start a legacy.
Yeah, we've done full size for a few years now. And where we live are neighborhoods. There's 5 neighborhoods that create one giant. And there's the really expensive above us. And then the 3 below us aren't as big as what. And we had them from all different, all 5 neighborhoods. I feel like people probably got shipped in from another town. Yes, it is the neighborhood, is the Voltron of
all
neighborhoods.
5 come to one. Yes.
So the real rich one was passing out king size bars.
Yeah, we just had full size, not king size.
Yeah.
But no, the video did make me laugh.
Good.
Surprisingly. Good. But yeah, I hate the fucking clips.
Well, we're starting to get to the countdown of, the end of the year and the retirement of the picks.
Yeah.
It's been a hell of a run.
I don't know how many things Brett can jump on.
I know. You always want to go out on top. I think
this week is pretty funny. I will say that again.
Oh boy. Uh-oh. Okay. No reaction video this week. We'll see how it goes up. Yeah. One and done. But the kids are tied. I don't know if I even said that from 2 weeks ago, that after the picks from 2 weeks ago, the kids are now tied. So we're going in fresh for the home stretch of the season. And we'll have the picks video for you this Saturday on our Facebook page. Of course, youtube.com/That Wrestling Podcast and at That WrestlePod for all things social, and whatamaneuver.net for your That Wrestling Podcast merchandise, like the TWP NWO style that I'm wearing today. Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy wrestling. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening. Follow That WrestlePod on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
1, 2, 3, that's it!
Thanks for watching That Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And for more That Wrestling Podcast content, follow at That WrestlePod on social media.